Could what you eat be more powerful in your cancer journey than what you think? Today I'm joined by Stacy Robert Davis, a food-loving, culinary-trained registered dietitian, cancer caregiver, wife, and mom. Stacy has over 18 years experience as a registered dietitian with a foundation of nutrition from the University of Delaware. She later expanded her work into the culinary space, earning a certificate from the Art Institute in Fort Lauderdale, along with a weight management certification and further training in functional medicine. Her work is deeply rooted in a simple but powerful philosophy: eat real food. She brings this to life through hands-on cooking and practical guidance, helping people reconnect with food as a tool for nourishment, healing, and everyday living. Welcome, Stacy. We are so honored to have you on this podcast today.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad we got a time, and I'm excited to share some information with you guys.
Amazing. Thank you. So my first question is, what is often overlooked about nutrition's role in cancer care?
I think with nutrition, it's like the last thing people think of and what doctors think of too. Like they'll tell patients certain things like, oh, eat more protein or oh, you need calories, but like it doesn't mean much. And with malnutrition too, a lot of cancer patients have malnutrition, and 80% of cancer patients um it impacts the way they handle treatment and even survival. 10 to 30% of patients with malnutrition, they have not good outcomes. I want to be as nice as possible, but nutrition is so important. And I've noticed too, in a lot of these cancer centers, they don't have a dietitian on their team. So it's really important that, patients go out there and get the support and the help that they need. Because it does, it helps everything. A lot of doctors, you're going through treatment, you have so many side effects, and it's all about the medications. Oh, take this for nausea, take this for diarrhea. But nutrition is so important with that, because sometimes the food that you're eating could be causing the diarrhea or could be causing the constipation. Or what should you do when you have the nausea? Like, should you be going and getting fried chicken and spicy food? Probably not. But if you're not educated about it, it could make things a little bit, worse or harder to handle.
Why do you think there's such a lack of conversation around nutrition when you do go into treatment?
I wish I had an answer, and I feel it everywhere with nutrition, like even doctors' offices, like saying, "Hey, I could help support your patients on not even just cancer, like even other things of diabetes or heart disease, like nutrition could help." And it's like, "Oh no, our patients don't ask for it, or they're not educated on it, or they think they know what to do."
Okay.
Um but yeah, it's a tough that's why I do what I do, because I wanna get the word out there that nutrition can really help, um,
Yes.
and help people without taking more meds, because meds lead, not that I'm against medications, but sometimes meds lead to more meds, which lead to more side effects, which lead to more medications. If we could do stuff to help prevent that, like, why not?
Yes, for
Nutrition
sure.
and food is something we have control over. That's, I think, a big thing with cancer patients. It's the one thing that they can control. They can control what they put in their mouths. Usually they're listening to the doctor of, you need chemo, you need radiation, you need this. They lost the sense of control, but what's left is the control of the food that they eat.
Very true. What is the real concern behind the advice to just eat enough during treatment?
I think that's like, what is enough? Like, honestly, what is enough? There's no definition of enough. Like, I'll talk to some clients and they eat a bite of food. well, that's enough. I'm full. Well, no, it's not enough.
Okay.
So, we need to that's why dietitians come into play to help with knowing what's enough, how many you need, like how much you need, how much protein, how many calories do you actually need a day?
Mm,
um, is is helpful. And, sometimes with treatment, it's hard to keep track, but keeping track of what you're eating can be very helpful of knowing how many calories you got, how much protein that you got a day, because enough doesn't really mean anything. Just like eat
yes.
healthy. Well, what does that mean? There's no definition of it. I try not to say it
Absolutely.
like eat healthy, but but my definition of eating healthy could be different than your definition of eating healthy, or my definition of eating enough could be different of yours. So we got to be a little bit more specific in what we tell patients, and doctors don't have the time, or sometimes some
Mm,
don't. They don't have the knowledge of it. Just like, you know, I hear it all the time and I still hear it, doctors telling patients, go eat McDonald's. Oh, just eat what you want. Get enough
mm,
calories. And I'm like, I get what you're saying, just like eat enough. You just want to eat. But is that really the most nutritious food for you to eat? I mean, I've had patients who tell me, I do go to McDonald's. I had one patient I could think of offhand where he would go to McDonald's because he was constipated and he knew when he ate McDonald's, it would help him go to the bathroom. So that's what he used for it. But it's not really the best way to get the extra calories in. There are healthier ways to do it. And if you are craving a burger and fries, there are better ways to make it where it's more nutritious. I think their french fries are good. You go in there, they smell good, but is it really giving your body the nourishment that it needs? It might satisfy you for the moment, but and especially if you're not eating well, you want
mm,
every bite you eat to be worthwhile and the best calories as possible. So listen,
yes.
I am a realistic dietitian. So if you did say, okay, I wanted French fries, like that's all I'm craving, which I don't usually hear, but if it is what you crave, okay, let's work with it. Let's figure out
Okay.
ways to get the nutrition in with you eating French fries. So I don't know, maybe dipping it into like a protein dip, like a yogurt dip, or I don't know, make like a nacho thing instead of, or like cheese fries, something like that, but add protein to it, add some chicken to it, trying to make ways where you're enjoying what you want, but also adding the nutrients in or making them at
Absolutely.
home. But sometimes that could be asking a lot of someone to make french fries from home, but at least you have more control of what's in your food.
Yes. And I don't know what your take is on an air fryer, but that may be a better option than deep fried.
Oh,
You know.
absolutely. Yeah, an air fryer is great. There's so many great recipes now where you're not depriving yourself. You're still getting that crispy texture, just without all the extra oil and calories.
Yes.
And at
Yes.
least
So
if you're
that
gonna make it at home, you have control of the oil that you're using versus what they're using in the restaurants. Because I've learned after
completely.
working in restaurants, like they use the oils, I don't know, for like weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it is kinda you learn a lot working in a restaurant. So,
Yes. Yes. I
some
worked
good,
there
some bad.
too. So did
Yes.
I. So I know.
But I use that for patients too, because sometimes we tell patients you need to be careful with your food, and food safety is a huge concern sometimes when you're going through treatment because your white blood cell count is low. So you're more apt to get sick. And yes, we say you can still go out to eat, but be careful. But working in a restaurant, I always tell patients this, and sometimes they like when I say this, but don't
Mm,
get a salad if you're going out to eat. You wanna stick with the hot foods because at least all the bacteria is killed, but salads at restaurants could be very, 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 very dirty. Like, thinking back of me at a restaurant, like, working in the restaurant, what we did, oh my goodness. It's yeah. we should have been fined and whatever. But it is what it was what it was, but you really wanna be careful with going out to eat and being safe with your food. So get
Okay,
hot
this
food, don't get a salad.
that's a very interesting one. I've not heard that,
Mhm.
and that's great advice.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So the impact of emotional eating on treatment outcomes, what does
yeah.
that look like?
I feel I see a lot of patients when they're going through all of this, it is very emotional. Like, it's a lot of stress. And what happens when we're stressed? Usually we crave certain things, and it's our carbs and our sugar.
Mm,
So I do see a big increase of patients wanting that. So, number one, we need to learn how to deal with our stress without turning to food. It's easier said than done, but stress eating isn't healthy for us. But
no.
sometimes that's what we want. And when we eat our carbs, and listen, if you do want a carb, I don't tell people to not eat what they're craving, because sometimes the craving is what we need. So let's just say it is a potato. Like, I really want a carb, I want a baked potato. Okay, that's fine. But let's pair it up with some protein, because if we're eating our carbs, our rice, our pasta, our bread by itself, it breaks down to sugar and it raises our blood sugar level, which is
Mm,
not what we want. We don't Our blood sugars do go up and down. That is a normal thing. Like, even if you have the glucose monitors, all that, having up and down is normal. But we don't want those big peaks and go down, and then a peak again and go down. So the way to prevent that is having your carbs, but pairing it up with protein and fat. So having your potato, but have some chicken with it or have a steak with it. You don't want to eat it alone, but
mm,
that's what stress does. Sometimes we do crave our sweets. Um, and sometimes you can go for it, but we do want to monitor how much added sweets we're having in our diet, our added sugar. I'm not here saying sugar is bad. I mean, just overall, sugar's not good for anybody. Cancer or no
right,
cancer. But we
right.
do want to monitor the amount of added sugar that we're having. And if we are gonna have carbs, just pair it up with the protein and the fat. And if it is really stress related and the emotions, speaking to someone, speaking to a dietitian, getting a psychologist involved in your care, getting a team together to help you learn different ways to deal with stress instead of eating. So, going for a walk, reading a book, sewing,
Mm,
cooking, whatever it is,
yeah.
finding different ways for you to deal with the stress, because cancer is huge. Like, that's a huge shock for most people to get diagnosed and to go through all of that. So it's learning healthy ways to deal with those emotions. And also, sometimes with stress, it you miss out on your hunger cues. Like, it's just all gone. And we really want to listen to our body of when we're hungry and when we're satisfied. I mean, sometimes during
Mm,
treatment, we miss out on that, the hunger
yeah.
cues, because you're nauseous, you're not feeling well,
Yes.
you don't want to eat. So I have clients who are going hours without eating because I'm not hungry. And I
Mm,
understand that. But sometimes we can't wait for the hunger to come, because I
mm,
tell them it's not going to come because of
yeah.
everything that's going on. So we're missing out on the hunger cues. So sometimes being put on a schedule of eating is helpful. So if
Okay.
you know every 2 hours you have to eat something, it doesn't I always tell families and my clients, like, it doesn't have to be a big meal, just something, because the calories will add up throughout the day versus going 6 hours without eating. So if every
Mm,
hour you took a bite of something, so let's just take a sandwich, for example. If you took a sandwich, cut it into 4 pieces, now every hour you ate a quarter of that sandwich. Fine. It took you 4 hours to eat it, but you got it
yeah.
down versus
Okay.
having the whole sandwich in front of you. So if you have a quarter of the sandwich and you eat it, you feel more accomplished. Like, wow, that wasn't too bad. And sometimes you're still hungry, so you want more versus putting the whole sandwich in front of you. You only taking a bite, and now everyone's upset. Your family is
Okay.
upset because you only took a bite. You're
Oh,
upset because you only took a bite. So let's prevent all this fighting with family, like just the fighting, and do small little portions. So it's
oh,
less pressure to eat. But going back to listening to the body, I know we want to do that, but sometimes when we are stressed, it goes away. So we need to go back to the schedule, and dealing with the emotions and not
okay.
hiding them.
That's a good strategy.
Mhm.
You touched on nausea. What
Mhm.
happens when you are so nauseous that you cannot eat anything? What is your advice around that?
Go with soups. Stick with something simple. Just you want to
Mm.
stay hydrated. And it's okay, you know? I don't wanna You don't wanna put pressure on someone. If you're not feel like, I always try to put myself in the situation when I'm sick and really not feeling well, the thought of food, it's gonna make me vomit, just
Mm,
thinking
mm,
about it. So it is okay. Take advantage of the days that you do feel well. And for those days that you are nauseous, do the soups, do the light foods. Even now they have supplements that are clear, that have some protein in it. You could do that, do
mm.
shakes, but whatever you could tolerate. But you do want to stay hydrated because if you are nauseous and vomiting, you're getting rid of all the fluid. So now you're more at risk for dehydration. So just getting the liquids in is is perfectly fine for those times.
Okay, so if I am a comfort eater,
Yeah.
um, how do I balance comfort food without losing progress?
I mean, with comfort foods, everyone's comfort food is different. Um, but progress is, you wanna you wanna stay consistent with it, and it is okay. So let's say your comfort food, I don't know, fried chicken, I don't know why that's on my mind, but let's just say your comfort food is fried chicken. You know, give yourself grace. Like, it is okay to have. Yes, we don't want to do it every single day, but we definitely want to monitor how often we are having it. But everyone's comfort food is different. And if it does make you happy, just pay attention to your body when you're eating it. Stop when you're
Mm,
satisfied. You don't need to overeat it. You could save it for later. I know some of us have the mentality of, you need to finish the plate, but it is okay to have the comfort foods. Like, I want to give you grace to enjoy it, and add protein to it. I always say, not that I'm advocating for it, but let's just say your comfort food is chocolate cake. Have the chocolate cake with a meal. Don't wait 2 hours after to have the chocolate cake, because if you're having it
Okay.
with the meal, then you're having the protein with it, so it won't raise your blood sugar as high. But I'm not really advocating for it, but I'm just saying if you're gonna do it, you might as well do
Yes.
it with your meal.
Good advice.
I mean, life
Makes
is too
sense.
short, man. I'm gonna be realistic. Sometimes you do want a piece of cake. You want a cookie. You can't beat yourself up for it.
Mm,
You gotta be
okay.
happy. You have to enjoy life. Right. It's the amount of it we're doing it, how often we're doing it, and just keeping track.
How does a cancer diagnosis reshape a person's relationship with food? So, what support is overlooked when it comes to that?
I think there's a lot of fear now with food, with a cancer diagnosis,
Mm,
especially with social media. There's so many people out there sharing their stories of what worked for them or what they're doing. And there's a lot of fear now with certain
mm,
foods, with a
mm.
lot of foods. I mean, every day I get, the fear of, let me go through my list. You ready? We got meat, we got dairy, we have sugar, we have soy, there's just a whole list of things that everybody is scared of because of what they saw on social media. Now we have seed oils that people are scared of, the toxins in, cookware and plastics is now a huge thing. So it's very, I mean, just now I'm thinking of it, it's very overwhelming.
Yes.
Like, think about it. And now you have a diagnosis of cancer and you want to do everything possible to live and get through this. And, you want, I get it, but there's a lot of fear out there of all
Mm.
these foods to avoid. And
Mm.
there doesn't need to be fear, you know? We need to enjoy it. Those foods, like I said, having it once in a while, if it's a birthday dinner and you're having a huge steak, enjoy it. I think
Mm.
that's less stressful than saying I can't eat it and then you thinking about it and wanting it. And I think that causes more stress in someone than just saying, I'm going to enjoy a steak. It's my birthday, you know? Um, it's
I
just a
agree with
really
you.
scary place.
There is definitely a lot of confusion around food. There's a lot
Yeah,
out there. There's a lot of conversations happening. Um, when you have a diagnosis, you do not know what to believe and you have no idea where to start. And
right.
then, I understand it's overwhelming. So, what is your advice? Where do I start?
Start where what you feel comfortable with. I mean, making these radical changes isn't going to be, we have to make small, realistic changes because, I understand. Like you said, I understand. But I have a lot of patients who go from eating a everything diet and then want to become vegan. That's
Mm,
a huge switch,
mm, mm, mm.
and going that extreme isn't really necessary. I mean, the research shows that eating meat products is beneficial. You're missing out on some vitamins if you don't eat if you eat a vegan diet. So, but I respect people who do it. Like if you want to eat a vegan diet and that's what you were doing, that's fine, but to go into these huge extremes cause more stress than anything else. So making small little changes that you're able to sustain, you know, it- maybe it is that you want to cut down on the meat products that you're eating. Okay, let's look at what you're eating now. If let's just say you're
Yeah.
eating steak every single night, that's your main dinner. Okay.
Mm.
And your goal is to cut back on meat. Okay, let's go down to 5 nights a week. Let's see how you do with that. Maybe do one plant-based meal a week, but slowly increasing it versus these huge um switches of diets. It's not really necessary, but doing small realistic changes that you're able to attain is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Even if it is, I like talking about what to add to a diet versus like what to take out. So focusing on
Mm.
adding more vegetables to your diet, like, because I see a lot of clients and, they don't eat vegetables, or maybe they have one vegetable a week. Um, so it's learning how to add foods to your diet instead of taking things away. Because if I sit here and tell you you can't eat sugar anymore, or let's go to the chocolate cake, you can't eat chocolate cake anymore. It's toxic, it's full of sugar and whatever else. Then you're going to think about it and want it. You might do it for a little while. Okay, I'm going to avoid chocolate cake, but then eventually you're going to be like, I really want that chocolate cake because you want things you can't have. So you're going to eventually overindulge in that chocolate cake and say, well, I don't care what Stacy said. I'm going to eat the chocolate cake and you're going to overeat it. However, if you're aware that you can eat it, like it is okay to have, you're not going to crave it as much
Mm.
because it's on the table, like you're able to have it. But once you start telling yourself things that you're not allowed to have, the sugar, the pasta, the carbs, whatever it is, you tend to crave it more.
Yes, it
So it's kind
becomes
of a
an
mind game.
obsession.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, we want things we can't have. That boy that we liked in high school that wouldn't talk to us, like, we want him even more because he didn't give us attention. Same thing with food. Like, you can't eat pasta. Oh, it's full of carbs. You're going to want it even more. So not giving ourselves that mentality of avoiding let's add things
Mm.
because there's so much we could add to our diet to make it better versus let's
Yes,
talking about things to avoid or take out.
I agree.
Because usually you
Uh,
do it naturally. So if you eat more
yes,
vegetables and fill up on vegetables, you're going to naturally, cut back on the carbohydrates, the potatoes or the rice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Adding is it's good advice to add.
Yeah.
Um, so what happens, because I've seen this often as well. What happens
Mhm.
when treatment changes the taste, and it creates a food aversion?
Yeah.
How do you adapt to that as a patient?
Ugh, the taste one is so hard because we have in our heads what things should taste like, and then you go through
Mm,
treatment and it like alters it. I always
mm,
ask patients like, because they're like, food doesn't taste right. Okay, but what is it? Like, what does it taste like? Um, Usually they tell me it tastes like cardboard. So I mean, I'm like light. So I'm like, you've tasted cardboard before? Like, how do you know what it tastes like? But
mm,
so they taste like cardboard or it tastes like poop. And once again, I'm like, well, you tasted poop, like you know that what that tastes like. But it's now figuring out because sometimes it is a bland taste, like nothing tastes good. Okay, so if it's bland, let's flavor things up to give it more flavor. So marinating your food, add the seasonings to your food, add garlic and ginger and onions and turmeric to your food to give it more flavor. Sometimes that helps. The marinating helps. Adding lemon to your food to help bring out some citrus. Sometimes
mm,
that helps. And then sometimes people say, oh, everything tastes so salty. Well, the opposite of salty is sweet. So trying to add sweet things to your food sometimes helps with that. Or if it's sweet, add a little salty to it.
mm.
Helps with it. Sometimes I get that it has a metallic taste.
Yes,
So
I've heard
with
that.
that, I mean, even I love eating with my hands. So eating with your hands, avoiding the metal silverware because sometimes the silver
Okay.
taste or the metal from the fork might increase that. So use plasticware, use your hands to eat
Oh,
versus the your silverware. Some of those things could help. There's even a fruit called miracle fruit or magic fruit. I don't know if you heard of
mm,
that. For some people it helps. It's definitely hit or miss, but it's a little fruit with a seed in it, and you chew it and you spit the seed out, and then it brings flavor to your food. So I had a sample of it, like someone brought the plant in, and we tried it. So we sucked a lemon with it. So we all chewed the fruit, spit out the seed, and then sucked a lemon. And you know how it is to suck a lemon, like it's very
uh,
tart and can I just tell you, this lemon was the best lemon I ever had. It tasted like lemonade. It was so sweet. But let's take into account wasn't going through treatment. My
of
taste
course.
buds were normal. But for some people it helps bring out flavors. For some people it didn't really help them, but it's something out there that might help you. But yeah, it's a
Absolutely.
plant, so it's just a little seed and you chew it up. They do come in like pill forms or wafers, but I find the actual fruit is better.
Of
But yeah,
course.
it was really cool to test it out, but we went for seconds. Like me and my coworkers, we all were sitting there sucking lemons. But I'm telling you, it
Ah,
was like lemonade.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So, how do you support patients emotionally when their relationship with food shifts?
I try to see where the patient's at. I respect them and I try to have empathy and understand where they're coming from. And the patient's going to have to do what they want to do to an extent. Like it is okay. If all you want to eat is soup and that's the only thing you want to do, okay. The same concept with the french fries. Like if all you wanted to eat was french fries, okay, let's work with it and deal with what we have. Like I had one patient where all he wanted was ice cream.
Mm.
And it was like, okay, and the family is getting frustrated. I'm like, okay, but at least it's something. Like it's better
Yeah.
than nothing. Let's go with it. Let's figure out ways we could add a little bit more protein to it. So we did. He wanted the ice cream, so he had an ice cream machine at home, and he took the protein shakes, and instead of drinking them, he made them into ice cream, like with the
Okay.
ice cream mixer, or he used the containers to make ice pops. So it was something different
Nice.
and it worked. So it really is, everybody is different. And to sit here and tell you what everyone should do, I can't, because everyone's different on what they like and what they don't like and what their
Mm.
side effects are. And it's really going with what is happening with you at that time and you know, embracing it. Like it's
Yeah.
okay.
Um, are there times that you say this is now a medical emergency? What happens when you refuse to eat?
Yeah. So I do have a lot of those, and it becomes an emergency when they're not eating anything at all. They're not drinking. Like sometimes, especially with head and neck patients,
Mm.
they can't swallow. Like, and they will do
Mm.
anything possible not to get a feeding tube, but just at times it's the only thing left, and I respect their
Okay.
wishes, but it becomes an emergency when you're not getting anything down and the weight is just melting off of you.
Mm.
That becomes an emergency. We recommend sometimes tube feedings, um,
Okay.
and sometimes patients accept it and go for it, and sometimes they don't want that, and I respect that
Mm.
too. So it's like, okay, what could we do to get the calories in? Um,
Mm.
just to make sure that they don't lose weight, just to make, because you want to keep your muscle. You want to, it's
Yeah.
not about the weight, it's keeping your muscle.
Mm.
And if you're not eating enough, I hear all the time too, oh, I'm excited I lost weight or I needed to lose weight. But yeah, I didn't want you to lose weight this way. And
Yes.
sometimes it's you're not eating enough. So your body is smart. It's breaking itself down to get energy. And
Mm.
unfortunately, I wish it would, but it's not breaking down just your fat. It's breaking down your
Mm-mm.
muscle, and we don't want to
Yes.
lose the muscle. Like I wish we could
Mm.
say cancer, if you're going to break anything down, just go for the fat first. Um, but it's not.
If I had to meet you today, I'm newly diagnosed.
Mhm.
What little bit of advice would you give me and say, start here?
Don't Google it. Don't go on Google. No. But we got to make sure that you're getting enough protein. So just journaling what you're eating. Let's keep it simple. And even starting off with the water, like making sure you're staying hydrated,
Mm.
is really important, because hydration is another, like, there's just so much to think about. So there's so much we could do. But the first thing I think is making sure you're getting enough water or hydration. And it doesn't have to just be plain old water. Flavoring it up is good. If you have um soups, so your broth counts as fluids too. If you
Mm.
did ice pops, that counts as fluids. But I think staying
Okay.
hydrated is one of the most important things that is somewhat easy to do, but a lot of patients don't. They, they don't. And I've had one
Mm.
patient say, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get IV fluids anyway. I'm like, yes, but let's save a little bit of money, and make sure you're getting it through. It's something you could do at home. Like,
Yes.
you don't need to come to the hospital to get some IVs.
Um, in an ideal world, how would nutrition be integrated into standard cancer care?
I think every patient should have a dietitian on their team to help them, just to be available to answer questions about side effects, to prevent the malnutrition, to help with recipe ideas, and um, just learning how to cook for yourself or having meals delivered, whatever it is. But I think it's so important to have the dietitian involved with the cancer care. Um,
Mm.
Especially at the beginning, just because it is very confusing. I think the beginning, the beginning and usually like the middle towards the end. Well, I think the whole
Mm,
part because even after treatment's important to have the dietitian involved. Um, but yeah, it's important for us to be involved in the whole aspect of it because sometimes the aftermath, like after treatment, could be worse than during treatment.
right.
Um, just because you're going through it, you have everyone involved. You're seeing the doctors all the time. You're seeing the nurses all the time. Like you just have so much going on. And
Mm,
then you get that call from the doctor or you see the doctor saying, the cancer is gone. You're good. Come back in 6 months. And you're sitting there going, now what? Like, what
mm,
do I do to prevent all of this from happening? Um, or sometimes the side effects from the radiation and chemo sometimes comes after.
mm,
I still have clients with fatigue, like
yeah,
fatigued, or sometimes with the head and necks, they still can't swallow. So
yes.
sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, but always having the dietitian involved with it.
Mm,
Just to help maintain your weight, keeping your muscle mass, all of that helps prevent you from stopping treatment because you don't want the treatment to stop because you're
mm,
not eating or you're having diarrhea or your counts are off.
mm.
But always having someone available.
What
Yeah.
didn't I ask you that you feel is really important to bring up?
I just wanted to bring up one other thing that you were asking about the nausea. But one little
Yeah.
thing too you could do is ginger. I think ginger could help with nausea so much. So,
Mm,
having ginger candies, ginger teas, just throwing a piece of ginger in some boiling water could help
mm,
settle your stomach. Or even they have the bracelets like when you go on road trips, like preventing like seasickness or
mhm.
car sickness. You could wear the bands, like things like that could help too. And
Okay.
also acupuncture is great. Like even during this whole treatment, like I think acupuncture and looking, not saying alternative medicines, but complementary medicines could become in very handy during treatment. Um,
Mhm.
if it is the acupuncture, the massage therapy, um,
Okay.
all those things could help you to stay relaxed, stay calm, help with side
Mm,
effects. Um, and it's just really watching what we eat. We want to put good things in our body. I'm not here saying I'm perfect. I am definitely not. But when we put good, nourishing foods in our body, it makes us feel good. It helps our body run better. Just like a
mm,
car. I always use in a car for an example. Like you put gasoline in your car, it might cost you a fortune, but you put gas in your car to run. There's no way you're going to put the
mm,
garbage in your car to make it run because it's not going to run.
mm,
So the same thing with us. We want to put good food in our body to help us run better, to build up our immune system. The better immune system we have, the better we are fighting everything off. If it's cancer or colds or, all these
yeah.
different bacterias, we need our immune system. So we want to help support it as much as possible. And the way to support it is putting good things in our body, the fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains, the things that come from this earth, not all these packaged products.
Mm,
It's easier. I am not gonna lie. Like sometimes it's easier to grab a bag of chips, but if you have things prepped and ready for you, it's easier to do. You know, Another thing. I mean, I'll go on all my rants, but even if you are listening to this and you are going through treatment, your family members, your friends want to help.
yes.
And I know because I've done it too, family members say, "What could I do? How could I help?" And the patient or the loved one says, I don't know. They can't think about it. So
Mm,
ask them. Or if you're a caregiver, or a friend who wants to help, just make meals. Like, just do it. Don't ask because it's very overwhelming for the loved one, the one going through this, to think about what they actually need. They don't know they have enough going on. So if it is doing their laundry, cleaning the house, making meals, I think is very beneficial,
Yeah.
especially making meals and throwing it in the freezer just so you have it. So if you are going through treatment and you enjoy cooking and you have a great day, cook. Make some extra meals, throw it in the freezer for the days that you don't feel well. At least you know the meals are in there.
Mm.
Um, but I think it's important because someone said it to me. They're like, you shouldn't ask me what I want because I don't know. And I'm like, you know
Yes.
what? Thank you for bringing that up to me. I'm trying to help, but I don't know how I could help.
Yes.
So they told me just do it. Just don't think about it. Just tell me I'm going to come do your laundry. I am going to go food shopping for you. Um, but it's hard, because people do want to help.
Yes.
And if you are going through treatment, it's hard to ask for help, but asking for help because people do want to help. If that makes
I like the
sense.
food idea. Yes, I'm very independent too. It was extremely difficult for me. My
Yeah.
daughter says I'm stubborn. Um, and after a long conversation, I realized it also hurt them when I didn't want
Yeah.
help, because it's the smallest thing that they can do for me, and nothing else is in their control except the small little things that they are able to provide. And
Yep.
so I think meals, that is a very thoughtful gift, especially if they are healthy meals. Um, you don't always have the energy to cook for your family. And it's a concern when you're an
Yeah.
independent person. So to just know that your family has food, even if you don't want to eat the food, your family is taken care of. It's a burden
Yeah.
that you are not worried about. So food is
Yep.
a great, what you said before, don't ask, just make it and take it there. And if they don't eat it, they don't eat it. But it's amazing if it's there. It's frozen and it's
Right.
available.
Yep. Because sometimes they don't know what they want either. Or
Mm,
sometimes I've had patients tell me, I was so in the mood for a certain thing. Let's just say, I don't know, I'm back on the fried chicken. I'm really in the mood for fried chicken. Their family makes it for them, and then it's in front of them, and they're like, "That's not what I want," or "I'm not in
yeah.
the mood for it now." But it's okay. At least you asked. You save it for
Yes.
later.
Mm.
um, but asking for help, I think, is um, it's really important, and I know it's hard, but people do wanna help.
Stacey, I'm so grateful that you gave us your time and your wisdom. And
Yes.
I hope a lot of people take away from this, because you've given us a lot of really good advice.
Thank
Things
you.
I haven't thought about, and I certainly did not think about when I was going through this. So thank you. We
Yes.
appreciate the
Yes.
time you gave
My
us.
pleasure, and give yourself grace, like, it is okay. I just
Oh,
wanna keep repeating that, like, it is okay, and be proud of yourself for the little things. So even if it was just a spoonful of yogurt that you ate, it's okay. Like,
I know.
give yourself a pat on the back for it.
Thank you. Um,
Yeah.